What is up, you guys, and thank you so much for stopping by once again on this Thursday, and welcome back to Arca Scans, where we go over this week's potential movers directly from my scanner. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called Arca Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so I'm looking at a potential opportunity coming in here for ticker symbol STX for Seagate Technology, and this is actually presenting a very interesting little breakout here, as there is kind of a formation happening here, right? So let's just go ahead and kind of draw that formation to show you exactly what could be happening, right? So I am really thinking that this is the support range that we're looking at here, and this is the other trend line that we can actually take into account, right? So what you are looking at here is, in fact, an ascending triangle, right? So this formation does have mathematical properties, which is very good, and it also does have an upside trajectory, right? So in this case, this could be actually the break of market structure, since the price action was kind of headed down for the last couple days, and now it has actually started to break that lower high structure, right? We started getting higher and higher highs here, so that's good. Price action right now is sitting at about 59.61. There is a potential here that we can drop to the area of about 59.52, even to the zone of about 59.28 before actually making its upside continuation, right? So it is breaking out at a nice place here, but this is the validation of support. The top side target for this is actually acquired by taking a trend line from the top side of the triangle of the hypotenuse and then applying that trend line all the way to that area of breakout, right? So let's just go ahead and apply it right over here, just in case the price action does end up coming back to the upside. And our top side target just so happens to be the top side of the range right over here. Okay, you guys, so you're looking at 62.44 on that target, 62.46 from the formation objective. So this is essentially where we would be looking for price action to go. We can also take a fib here and see if we're backed with any type of Fibonacci retracement sequence, right? So actually, let's go ahead and just take it from the range high to the range low, and that would be essentially right at about here. So this area here to this area here, price action is actually leading to almost perfectly the 4-spot 236, just under the 4-spot 618. So of course, because we have the 4-spot 618 directly right above us, we can actually now assume that that would be a top side resistance as well. So this is essentially what we're looking at, right? So could it be a big enough move? Could it not? I'm not sure. We can also measure it, right? So also notice that the 4-spot 618 is actually landing right perfectly to the top side of this range here as well. Okay, you guys. So another thing to kind of keep in mind here is on the 15-minute time frame, there is a little bit of a gap here between the areas of about 62.18 and about 62.34, which 62.18 happens to match very close to the 3-spot 618. That could be an area for a pullback. Okay, you guys, so we're just going to go ahead and note it just like this, that this could be one of the zones to kind of look out for, right, upon the breakout of this formation. Okay, we also have another gap very conveniently located exactly where the 1-spot 618 is located too, at 60.48. Okay, so that means that we have another area of resistance. So let's just go ahead and take that zone right there, just so that we can have it within our visibility, right? So now let's just go ahead and measure what this move can actually do. Let's just say that we did gain entry somewhere around that 59.53. The top side move all the way to that top side area to the 2-spot 236 is about a 4.92% move. Not bad for a $60 asset, right? And the top side would lead to around a 5.37% move to the upside. Honestly, this could be a play for me personally. This is something that I would play as an options game, right? Since I'm talking about $59 to potentially $62, that's that with good delta, that could that could really make a good move to the upside for you, for a gainer for your portfolio, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right here, you guys. I do think that STX does have a pretty unique opportunity coming up. We can always validate the upper time frames too, just in case there is something of concern there, right? So in fact, this is let's see, this is making a very interesting move from the daily and 12-hour time frame, as this is also a falling wedge from the larger time frames, right? So this is another bullish formation that we're kind of looking at here, right? Something along the lines of this here. I'm sorry that the price action is everywhere there, but, you know, we can only do our best, right? So something like this right here, right? This is kind of what we're looking at here. And there is the potential preparation for a breakout happening within the immediate short-term time frame. In fact, yeah, so let me just get rid of this real quick and see if we can see that a little bit clearer, right? So yeah, essentially that little ascending triangle that's being formed in the immediate short-term time frame is essentially suggesting the initialization of the breakout from the larger term time frame wedge. Okay, so this would be, you know, likely an area for the price action to come back. You know, it would make that target, then it would come back to the zones of the support that we're looking at here, validate the newly converted resistance into support, and then continue on to the upside. Because if this is, if we're looking at topside moves here, then this can actually make a pretty substantial move to the upside, since there is a couple ways to measure the price objective from this formation. But what I would like to point out to you guys is that if we do have the FOMC rate hikes coming in next, on Tuesday coming up and Wednesday, we don't know what they're going to say. We don't know if they're going to actually, if they're going to not hike at all, or if they're going to, hike a 25% or hike a 50, BIP. That's entirely a gamble. Okay, so why I'm saying this is because we are technically, let me just make sure that we are in fact, right? So let me see, 1, 2, oh my goodness. Okay, so I mean, we are technically in the third test, which is usually the test that capitulates the hardest, right? So if we are in the third test, then technically this can still fake out and create a huge bull trap, right? So, I mean, let's look at the valuations. Let's look at the capitalization of this company, because it's probably really big, right? So market cap is sitting at a 12.4 bill, and you're looking at a 200 million float, right? So yeah, this has power to move things, right? So this, if I'm saying that if the Fed says something negative, then we could get that bull trap at the take profit or just below it at that 61.98 target. Then price action can lead to a further downside within this, since it is the test 3, and usually test 3 of the resistance from the golden rule of 3 states that you have a larger capitulation from that test, followed by a true test breakout of test number 4 or test number 5. Okay, so there is serious risk here. I'm really talking about a short-term move here. Okay, you guys, so I would like to express or tell my younger or my beginner students, my master students, to maybe refrain from trading the markets since we did get the debt ceiling issue resolved. The price action inflated to the areas to where I was already looking for resistance in the SPY. And, those resistances were in respects to the FOMC coming up, but we also had this debt ceiling, so the price action inflated to that point. And now we're actually reaching the really overextended targets that I had above the SPY targets that I already had. So there is a likelihood that we can face a serious pullback in the event that we get a bad catalyst, right? So just to make it clear here, you guys, this is meeting everything that I like. First of all, 30-minute immediate short-term time frame suggesting a downside in the RSI, decreasing volatility, and that's also bleeding into the hourly time frame. Of course, in fact, we got an upside, but yeah, the hourly time frame has that retracement back here, which is why I was saying that there could be a potential get long zone. Okay, so now the bi-hourly time frame does have that upside pivot on the stochastic, bleeding into the 4-hour with that upside pivot, and also bleeding into the 6-hour with that upside pivot, and then into the 8-hour. Okay, so those are essentially the time frames that I do look at with upside pivots for a short-term scalp or a momentum move. In the immediate short-term time frame. Okay, so everything is kind of suggesting that. I'm expressing serious warning here to the people who do not know yet how to actually properly execute risk management. Maybe consider staying away from the markets, as this would likely present a very huge risk for your portfolio. Okay, you guys, so please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. All right, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.